Hi, my name is Tom Linker,
And I'm Roger Martinez.
and today we will be using Lego Mindstorm and LabView to use a sensor that detects color to power a motor.
So when the sensor sees green, the motor's going to be powered at 90% power. When it sees yellow, it's going to be at 50% power. And when it sees red, it's going to be at 0% power. So it's going to be off. If it sees any other thing, it will also be off because our default setting is 0 power. So now I will walk you through the LabView code that controls this motor.
To achieve our goal of running a motor at various speeds depending on what color a sensor sees, we wrote the following program. We began by creating a while loop so that the program runs continuously and actively collects data. Next, we created a stop button so that we may stop the program from the front panel of our VI whenever we want. Next, we called the readColor sub-VI, which is the sub-VI that will acquire the color data from the sensor. We then wired the data from this sub-VI to a case structure. By doing this, the case structure now allows us to request different operations depending on what the color is. The first case we will program is the no-color default case. We will call the moveMotors sub-VI into the case and wire a 0 constant into the power input. This tells the motor to have 0 power if it detects no color. For every case, I have circled the changes I am making in red since all the cases look very similar. So next, we program the case when the sensor sees the color red. Just like in the previous case, we want the motor to have 0 power, so we call the moveMotors sub-VI into this case and also wire a 0 constant into the power input. Next, we program the case when the sensor sees the color yellow. In this case, we want the motor to move at 50% power, so we attached a 50 constant into the power input, which is attached to another moveMotors sub-VI. And lastly, we program the case when the sensor sees the color green. In this case, we want the motor to run at 90% power, so we wired a constant 90 to the input of yet another moveMotors sub-VI. This completed VI allows us to control our Mindstorm's motor exactly the way we want it to. Next up, Tom will show us a demo of how it works.
Alright, and here we can see a demonstration of the motor actually working. So as we go to green, it goes to 90% power, or actually as we go to yellow, it goes to 50% power, and at red, it doesn't do anything. Back to yellow, 50% power, green, 90% power. And that's our project.
Tune in next week.